Hello, this is Ariela Karmel, and I'm at Calcalist and Bank Leumi's conference in Miami. I'm joined by Dr. Idit Maya, professor in medical genetics and head of the Genomic School at Beilinson's Genetic Institute. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
So can you start off by telling me a little bit about your research and what brings you to Miami?
So in my day work, I'm a medical geneticist, I'm a physician, and I'm helping families to get to know their genetic code and to find the monogenic disease that influence their health. But that didn't bring me to Miami. Mm-hmm. I'm coming in to talk about specific field in genomics, especially epigenomics. Epigenetics is a field talking about how do we use our DNA sequence. It's not about to read the code, it's to understand which part of the code I'm using in different parts of my life, how my environment is influencing me to use specific proteins. And in the last few years, we can understand that either we can use good proteins or the proteins that are good for my profession, and sometimes I don't use them naturally, and I need the environment or my colleagues or my managers to help me use those.
So can you tell me a little bit more on that note about recent developments on research regarding complex personality traits?
When we are talking about personality, in many years we thought this is not biology. We can't research, it's too complicated. We called it complex inheritance, and we said it's too complicated for us. But in the last few years, after we know the DNA sequence, we can really read the RNA sequence, what we are using in each cell in our body, and then to understand how this group of proteins are used in my brain in different areas to cope in different processes, in different things that I need to do. For example, if I want to talk to you in front of a camera, I need to use different proteins than if I'm going to fly a plane or to be a physician and to talk to one patient in my room. So now, in the last few years, we can understand the complexity and we can gather all the information and maybe understand this different stages of how I will learn, how I will teach myself to use the right proteins, and maybe to make myself better in a specific trait that I want to be, in self-esteem, in how to be innovative, how to be with self-confidence, etc.
And can you talk a little bit more about what the practical implications in the world of business would be regarding this kind of research?
So this is very interesting because when we think about the business community, we are thinking about how to hire the right people. And we are thinking how to make their progress better and to make them the best employees. And what we have learned is that our environment in our workplace is very influencing our biology. We can learn and see which protein I'm using in different stages of my career and to say, this is the person I want. But even if he doesn't use the same proteins, I can teach him. I can make him learn. Like in simulators that take me 1 or 2 years to make him learn what he has to do, and a lot of training programs, I can do it maybe, not now yet, but maybe in the future I can teach him molecularly. I can learn how it's being done by the best 100 business people or 100 best scientific personnel, and then to take those proteins and to teach my employee how to use them.
So can you tell me a little bit about any recommendations you have in terms of how this knowledge or technology could be used by employers and managers today? Because as you said, it doesn't yet exist, but it could in the future very, very quickly.
I think the fact that we understand our biology as employees and as workers is very important, because usually we look at DNA as it's fixed. This is me, this is my qualities, this is my personality traits. But actually it's not like that. Actually I can change that, I can influence that. If I'm talking about my environment at work and I want my employees to be innovative, I want them to be good in negotiation. I want them to be good talking in front of audience. Now we understand that requires a group of proteins that will work in specific place in the brain. We understand that our cells are flexible. We can choose which protein to use from the book of life, the DNA. So now as an employee, I can choose, I want to make this employee better in this trait, personality trait. Let's do something with that. Let's learn how to create an environment in my workplace, in his day-to-day life, that he will practice those virtues, and then he will use them in the best way. It's not that the way I got him, the minute I hired him to work, this is it. And we know that. We have a lot of progress in the understanding and how I can make my employees better. But the biology is something that we have to take into consideration and to understand what are the things. And if we will understand in the future what are the things that I need to make this person better, maybe he will have an ID card. And I will know his entrance point, how he started.
That
in
can
my
be utilized
company.
by employers.
Yeah, and then I will say, okay, this person need to use more of this group of proteins. Let's think of what will be his way to the goal that I am trying to get with him. And every person, it will be personalized process for him. It's not for all the people the same process, the same protein are lacking, the flexibility of that. And the fact that we can research that, this is the amazing part of this field of epigenetics. And I think in the future, it will be part of the business world. It will be part of our day-to-day life, even at schools or universities, and of course in any environment that we want to use the human resource at the best way.
So does that mean that potentially like a DNA test could replace hiring or training processes?
I don't think it should or could replace. I think it will enter the algorithm. I think it's something that we have to think about the environment of our workplace and what I'm giving to my employee in order to make him better. I have to take the best person for the job, but many times I'm taking someone that didn't do this task before. He has the personality trait. I can ask him, how are you talking with a big audience? Did you do that before? But maybe I can give him the tools, the biological tools, the information to do that in a better way, faster way. We are not there yet. I'm not saying
this isn't today, right?
It's not today or tomorrow, but we are now in the phase that we can research this field of genetics. It's not only the DNA sequence that we can read. We can take the cells, we can take the person and understand which parts of these recipes he's using, and then to learn from him how to make me use those great protein or great recipe. Like a chef, I want to know how to cook a specific cake. I'm not a bakery chef, so I can learn from his recipe books. So maybe we can implement that to our workplace, not only in hiring, but also to all our employees during
like also for self-improvement, kind of, as an employee could use it.
Totally. How do we make ourselves better in shorter time and with understanding the biology that is behind that?
Fascinating. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and enjoy the conference in Miami.
Thank you very much. Thank you.